CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Mekovic.
Breaking news on the afternoon edition. Public school teachers in San Francisco are threatening to go on strike on Monday. Thanks for joining us. More than 5,000 teachers in the San Francisco Unified School District are set to walk off the job next week if a deal isn't reached. There's that if. But they are demanding a 9% pay raise, family health care benefits, and sanctuary policies in their schools. Our Veronica Macias is live at the district office with the very latest. It sounds like there's a chance of a breakthrough at a meeting tonight.
Correct, and that meeting happening at 5 p.m. tonight here at the district. And members of the United Educators of San Francisco tell me this decision to strike not being taken lightly. You know, it hasn't happened. A strike for the district hasn't happened since 1979. So this was a tough decision for them. Still, like you said, there could be some negotiations. An agreement can be reached perhaps by 5 p.m. Until then, teachers, educators, they're telling families to prepare. That happening earlier today on these steps.
Many of us work 2 and 3 jobs. Some of us only ever see half of our paychecks after health care premiums are taken out. This is not acceptable or sustainable.
We have been bargaining since March of 2025. The district has had every opportunity at every session to get down into it to make sure that they can avert what is the current condition right now.
What do we want? A fair contract! Do we want it? Now!
We also know that the union right now is not satisfied with the proposal that they have been given. That proposal is a 6% increase that would be spread out over the next 3 years. Now, they're concerned with this proposal that it includes a number of setbacks for schools and programs to be defunded under that deal, and that, they say, would be shortchanging students. For months, though, the union has pushed for an increased wage of 9 to 14%. And while a third-party report confirms a difficult financial state for the district, the Union of Educators, they argue that a better offer can be negotiated here. Teachers that we spoke to today say that they, can be the reason many times why a student wants to be at school, that motivation for them, and they deserve a wage that can afford the cost of living in San Francisco. And many of these teachers also, and describing how some of them are not full-time employees, so many of them have to take several jobs. We also know that they say that there are severe challenges when it comes to special education. We also heard from parents out here saying their students have not had a permanent teacher in some time, but right now what is of contention is their wages, and they are hoping to get something in writing, and something they haven't received since October, I'm told.
All right, we know this is an issue so many districts around the Bay Area are dealing with. We will continue to follow that, affecting so many tens of thousands of people in the city. We have reached out to the district superintendent, Maria Sue. She says, quote, "My priority is to avoid a strike and reach an agreement with our labor partners." She says we're meeting at 5 today, which will allow us to present our proposal that meets many of our educators' requests, including fully funding family health care and providing wages we can afford. I believe we can have a meaningful and productive negotiation session. All right, developing story now. 2 teenagers accused in a triple shooting that killed a 15-year-old girl, set to be arraigned this afternoon. That shooting happened in San Francisco last Friday near Jefferson Square Park. And within the last hour, the DA announced charges. A 16-year-old is charged with several felonies, including homicide, and a 15-year-old is charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. The girl who was killed, Jada Mabry.
She was a high school student in our city that ran track. She was a part of a track club. She was a girl who was beloved in her community, and to lose that life so soon, so early, under these circumstances has really rocked the community.
Now, the DA says their hearings are going to be open to the public because of the nature of the shootings. To our first alert weather now. Once again, looking a little bit hazy out there, bad air quality, but boy, it's been really beautiful. Meteorologist Zoe Mintz keeping track of it all. And hey, so that rain chance gone for Super Bowl?
Rain chance is gone. So if you have any outdoor plans for the Super Bowl Sunday, you should be good to go. A little bit cooler, a little bit cloudier, but hey, honestly, it's probably going to feel like a nice change of pace compared to the huge area of high pressure that we've been dealing with, bringing us these 5 to 15 degrees above average. A little sneak peek of spring has been nice, but we need the rain. It's our rainy season, and we need it to disperse the bad air quality because it's pretty darn hazy out there. It's just gross. Most of us unhealthy for sensitive groups, those areas in orange, those areas in red across those inland East Bay. It's still just unhealthy in general. So if you have any outdoor plans and you're sensitive to particulate matter in the air, you might want to mask up. But I would highly suggest enjoying yourself today, even with the bad air quality. Tomorrow it should be improving, but also cooling down slightly. So by tomorrow afternoon, we're no longer going to be seeing those widespread mid to upper 70s in the Santa Clara Valley. We'll be seeing widespread near 70 degrees. That's still about 5 to 10 degrees above average, continuing to cool down into early next week before the rain chances head our way. I'll let you know exactly what to expect next week, but for your Super Bowl Sunday, right now, it's looking good. Back to you.
Well, the Super Bowl, as Zoe mentioned, kicking off Sunday, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, and official events are ramping up across the Bay Area today. Of course, fans not only counting down to the big game, but to the halftime show and the commercials. But Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny promising a global Spanish language performance on the NFL's biggest stage this morning. He spoke at the halftime press conference at San Francisco's Moscone Center, saying he's so excited he couldn't sleep and calling it 20 minutes of me doing something that I love.
Everyone who stopped me at the street or wherever I go, they only wish like good things on me, and I know that the world is going to be happy at this Sunday, and they're going to have fun, and they're going to dance, and they're going to have a good time.
Pre-game performers Charlie Puth, Coco Jones, and Brandy Carlisle also spoke about their performances and shared how excited they are to participate before kickoff. Meantime, the USA and Mexico flag football teams preparing for their major exhibition match today. In less than 4 hours, teams are going to compete at Moscone Center, showcasing Olympic-style flag football ahead of its debut in the 2028 Olympics. One Bay Area native returning home to play in today's game. He says he is excited for the chance to represent flag football and his country.
Who doesn't want to represent their country? This is it. This is the pinnacle. Having it in the Olympics is, I think that's such a huge, momentum changer for the sport in itself.
According to USA Football, flag football is one of the fastest growing youth sports in the country, with participation growing by more than 60% over the past decade. Today's game starts at 3:45. San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf has taken down a controversial pro-ICE billboard that was at Mason and Jefferson Streets. In a Facebook post, the wharf said it welcomes locals and visitors of all backgrounds and honors the many cultures that make the neighborhood vibrant. The football-themed ad, paid for by conservative nonprofit American Sovereignty, called ICE the Defensive Player of the Year and said they can't win without defense, neither can America. We've reached out to American Sovereignty for comment and have not heard back. Now to Tucson, Arizona. Authorities offering some new details in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. She was reported missing Sunday afternoon from her home after she didn't show up at church. Andres Gutierrez has the latest.
The Pima County Sheriff's Department said Thursday they believe Savannah Guthrie's mother is still out there as they continue to investigate her disappearance.
We have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case.
Authorities shared a timeline showing the window when they believe 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was abducted from her home in Tucson after she was dropped off Saturday night.
The blood on the porch, that was one we did. It came back to Nancy.
We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen.
In an emotional video released Wednesday, the Today Show co-host and her siblings pleaded directly with whoever may be holding their mother and acknowledged the reported ransom letter.
We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
The FBI says there has been no response so far from the video the children put out.
There has been no proof of life. and there was no other demands within that letter. So they're still waiting for communication.
Savannah is very smart. She's going to do what she needs to do to get her mother back.
Savannah Guthrie's friend Sally Shamrell helped organize last night's vigil.
I just want that very, very, very precious woman back in her children's arms.
The FBI announced a $50,000 reward for information leading to Nancy Guthrie's recovery and an arrest in the case.
Well, coming up, a bad month for people looking for a job. We're taking a look at the latest numbers from the Labor Department. Bad news for an East Bay company. New at noon, Workday is cutting 400 jobs, mostly in customer support-facing roles. The Pleasanton-based software company says the move will impact 2% of its workforce. Company officials say that'll free up money to invest in high-priority areas like, you guessed it, AI. This is Workday's second round of cuts in about a year after it previously eliminated nearly 2,000 positions while hiring more AI talent. And some bad news from the Labor Department. December job openings hit the lowest level in more than 5 years. Openings fell from 6.9 million in November to 6.5 last month. Meantime, layoffs rose slightly and the amount of people quitting their jobs remained about the same. All right, back to our first alert weather, taking a live look at Pacifica because the Northern California coast is currently under a beach hazard statement. Sending things over to meteorologist Zoe Mintz with more on that.
Yep, they are under a high surf advisory and a beach hazard statement because there's a northwesterly swell that's coming in. And if you aren't from here and you haven't been to the beach and it's not used to your kind of cup of tea, you're going to want to take it easy because it's beautiful beach weather. You're going to want to head to the beach, and I don't blame you. But please, just maybe don't go in the water. And if you're planning on setting up at the beach, make sure you have plenty of room away from the shore because there's something called sneaker waves that occur where just a random wave seemingly comes up and it can take away all of your stuff, and it can be really damaging. 19 to 22-foot breaking waves will continue Friday and into Saturday. So keep that in mind again for any early weekend beach day plans. You're probably not going to want to head in the water. High temperatures today are really, really warm, if not hot. Mid to upper 70s down into the Santa Clara Valley, farther south towards Monterey Bay as well, Santa Cruz. Really, really gorgeous out there. Even downtown San Francisco, once again, near 70 degrees this afternoon. We kind of forget that it's February, but it is. And again, these high temperatures are not going to stay this way forever, so appreciate it while you can. By as soon as this evening, we'll be seeing more widespread cloud coverage arriving. Our sunset not going to be nearly as clear as yesterday's, and that cloud coverage is only going to get more widespread by tomorrow afternoon. And that's going to actually keep our high temperatures, especially closer to the coast, a few degrees cooler, mid-60s all along our coastal communities. You head on farther inland, that's where maybe some low 70s will be sticking around. But it's still going to be above average through the end of the week, even with a gradual cool down into your Sunday. So it really all kind of depends on what plans you have, but Super Bowl Sunday plans, and up until then, you are good to go. It's not until Monday of next week that even the potential for rain will arrive. And that's still very uncertain. Models are bouncing back and forth whether or not we'll see a few drops on Monday and Tuesday. It does look like Wednesday that will be a better potential for a larger push of widespread moisture. But either way, get ready for a more active weather pattern starting next week and appreciate and enjoy the well above average temperatures all the way through Super Bowl Sunday while you can. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Zoe. Coming up, we are spotlighting 2 volunteers who have helped shape the Redwood forest in the Oakland Hills. But when you visit Joaquin Miller Park in the Oakland Hills, you can easily forget that you're just minutes away from city life. That is thanks to a pair of volunteers. They have spent the last 16 years restoring a section of the Redwood forest. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winners.
Tim Vendlinski and Dr. Robert Leidy would tell you that protecting the environment is in their DNA.
This is a calling to me.
And Tim's passion took root early on.
I ended up leading my first environmental march when I was 10 years old in 6th grade, and they were bulldozing the oak trees off of our playground at our elementary school.
So in 2010, it seemed natural that the 2 friends and colleagues would lead the revival of part of city-owned and operated Joaquin Miller Park. Rob says the forest was cut in 1854 and the redwoods grew back, but the forest floor lacked vegetation that animals need for food and shelter.
So it looked like a pool table with toothpicks sticking out of it, basically. The understory, all the plants that grow under the redwoods, they had been trampled by park users.
So with the support of the nonprofit Friends of Saucil Creek, Rob and Tim led efforts to restore 8.5 acres of wetlands and redwood forest in Upper Fern Ravine Creek. Before and after photos showed the dramatic transformation from barren forest in 2010 to lush landscape 14 years later. Thousands of volunteers helped weed out invasive plants.
Here's our western sword fern.
They planted native plants and built fences along trails. And today we see proof of a thriving, healthy ecosystem.
If you open this up, there'd be multiple chambers.
We spot a nest of the dusky-footed wood rat that provides habitat for other small animals, and the protected headwaters ensure the survival of native rainbow trout.
So that trout population, it doesn't live right here in the forest, but this clean water that's being generated by the headwaters, that's what the fish are swimming in downstream.
We're getting into like the peak viewing season for
the
plants
work
in
was
the
so
redwoods.
successful that Friends of Saucil Creek won a $400,000 state grant to expand the restoration to all 50 acres of the Fern Ravine Creek Basin. Volunteer Caitlin Boyd says the seeds of service that Rob and Tim have planted will bear fruit for generations.
As an East Bay resident, I feel so lucky walking in here and experiencing this. I find the hours and years of their lives that they've spent on this space extremely inspirational.
There's no reason why the entire Joaquin Miller Park Redwood Forest couldn't look like this. It's a matter of vision and it's a matter of will.
We're just shepherds and caretakers of an asset, a beautiful ecosystem that hopefully will continue on through the centuries.
So for spearheading the Fern Ravine Revival Project, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Tim Van Linsky and Dr. Robert Leidy.
Well, coming up, animals at the San Francisco Zoo are locking in their predictions for Super Bowl 60. Which team is favored for the big game? We are just days away from Super Bowl 60, and our top sports analysts at the San Francisco Zoo have made their important predictions. The Seattle Seahawks have taken an early lead after the zoo set out a series of snacks for their Cooney pig. Took her no time at all to predict that the Seahawks would beat the New England Patriots. The zookeeper, who is from Seattle, shared his excitement about the prediction.
It's a blast. Yeah. Not only being with the animals, but getting them to see the correct choice was made was always an additional benefit, but it's great to see them enjoy their cakes. And I think the pigs have the best instinct, and so it's very clear and very obvious why they chose Seattle.
The lemurs also went for Seattle, but the lions and the rhinos took the Pats. Well, plenty of things happening ahead of the big game. This is going to be funny, a Bad Bunny look-alike contest happening in the Mission District tonight. So that is at Taco-licious on Valencia Street, starting at 5 p.m. Something for everybody. That is it for the afternoon edition. Thanks for being with us. Remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Just go to live at the bottom of your screen and then choose Bay Area.